the driest state in the country, and it's lightning and overcast with gigantic cumulus clouds everywhere. We're wondering whether we should call in, but we're not going to. We're going to go do our program like we've done at all the other centers. But here we're in the center of Kansas. And the beauty of this is, behind the camera, it's over this way, the sky is just gorgeous. And we've been protecting the center of the United States, 48 states for 20 years, and we've never been to this part, which is not that far. It's only about 3 hours away from the center of the United States. And it's just gorgeous down here. It's near Great Bend. It's just outside of Bushton, Kansas, which is a teeny weeny little town, a few hundred people. And we're happy to be here. Well, we've just gotten together after finishing our long program, and we're in a nice little place, very, very clean, very sweet, in Hoisington, Kansas, which is about 20 minutes from the Brahmasthan of the state of Kansas, which is even closer to a very small town with a very interesting history by the name of Bushton, Kansas. They even have a picture on their city office mural on the side of the building, and celebrating the fact that they are the center of Kansas. And so I was excited to have achieved that and made that mark on our map, our personal map, where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. And when we got into this hotel, I found all these magazines and brochures about all the interesting places that are within a very short distance of the center. In other words, if you're in the center, you can have an effect and enjoy all of it. And that's why we like the center. And that was my perception tonight. And the fact that it rained when we stepped out of the car to photograph our introduction to this video, and it started raining, and we've been studying to be storm chasers, so we have a normal excuse to go running around the country. And I guess that's why we're doing it, right? Besides of our natural interest in the weather, like everybody else in the world. But anyway,
well, that was the funniest
we
part
saw a lot of
about
nice
that.
things. I'm really happy about it. And I got a great new map of Kansas, which we need.
Yeah, that was the funniest part about it. When we were driving to the center of the state, we've never been here before. We've spent most all of our time in the north central part of Kansas. And I think we've been up there so long, we think that maybe the southern line of Kansas, the boundary of Kansas, is like Interstate 70 or just below it.
Yeah, I have that psychology too.
Yeah, but the truth is there's another half of Kansas that is like, you don't think of it that much, the southern half. So when we're driving to the center of Kansas.
Are we about 30 miles south of 70 now?
I'd say about.
Somewhere along that area? Okay.
Yeah.
And almost directly below Smith Center, which is near Lebanon, Kansas, which is the center of the contiguous United States.
Yeah, the Brahmasthan of the United States.
Yeah.
So as we were driving down here, it was a different feeling because we're going to this center point, the bottom of the bowl of the state, the transcending place where all the laws of nature come out, as Maharishi talked about, for Kansas, that the structuring dynamics. So we get to go here, and it was a lot of fun. So as we're driving, Jane says, well, look, those storm clouds are over there. I said, well, it's not going to matter. They're way far away. It's not going to affect. There's no storm prediction or anything. So by the time we get there, we're hustling to get Jane out of the truck, to get everything set up, and it's thundering. And you're thinking of Wizard of the Oz and
lightning.
Lightning. You're thinking of the storm in Kansas and everything. So, and then we finished that part, as you know, and
it stopped raining.
Right after we filmed you, it rained like crazy at some point, about 5 or 10 minutes later, just absolutely crazy. So
Yeah, we got into the car just in time.
just in time. So we just got done doing our program, long program, and I would say my overall impression is that Kansas feels very whole and kind, and
Clean.
we went out to get something to eat before, and it was everything's decent and feels very settled, feels very, very settled.
We were approached by a panhandler at the gas station. That hasn't happened for years and years. We were in Colorado once when it happened, but that was 10, 12 years ago. So anyway, this man was asking us for money. That's always awkward. But there's no real sign of poverty around here. What there is emptiness. And it's very interesting to me that in Stapach Vede architecture, which is the art of creating proper vastu, or stand, for you to live in, that's most life-supporting, they always want you to have the center of your house empty. Not to step on it, even if it's only, a couple of square feet or a square meter, whatever. And I noticed that happens a lot when we go to Brahmastans. They are never in a really, really crowded place. The only place I ever noticed it was when we were in Worcester, Mass, but we haven't made a film about that.
Well, there's a few. The Brahmastan of Oklahoma is Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
The Brahmastan of Indiana is Indianapolis, and those two teams were in the finals this year. The Brahmastan of Oklahoma versus the Brahmastan of Indiana, and it was a battle royal. I mean, they played their rear ends off, and they're still talking about it. So I don't know. I would say, when I agree with Jane from this standpoint, when you go to a Brahmastan, the stand of wholeness,
remember, Brahmastan means center.
Brahmastan means center. You have to go with great respect, because it's the seat of silence. It's the seat of silence. So you have to go with great respect. And maybe many of these places are void. Hard to say, but Maharishi sure did have an idea at the United States Brahmastan. He has a huge project there. And so you have to come with respect and try to be in your silence to have the best results. It's not a place for frivolous activity.
Your silence. It really speeds things up. I could go all day without talking, almost.
So that's our story.
No, wait, there was one. Now, when you refer to Maharishi and Vedic science and the science of the center, the science of the Brahmastan, I think you should promise anybody who's watching that you'll put the information in the details of this post.
Well, the best place to find out this information is in Raja Ram's books, because he talks about the entire brain physiology is centered around the Brahmastan of the brain, the thalamus, and how everything runs from the distinguishing and deciding value of natural law in the center of the brain, the thalamus, which relates to the Surya value. So this would be a good place to go to understand how the center point is so strong, and what a great way to help make decisions and policies for your state or your country or your continent, even by making them from those places where you're completely enlivened with that distinguishing and deciding value of natural law. And I really believe that's the reason why Maharishi really loves Brahmastans, and why we are getting such a kick out of going from state to state. In fact, we seem to be gaining more energy and more natural law as we go along. Would you agree? More happiness?
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty happy.
Okay, so
I don't know if I could be any more happy than I already am without being silly.
Well, there you go. So
But they bombed a bunch of people over in the Middle East the last weekend, and we got to keep our nose to the peacemaking. We can't get involved in all of that yes or no right or wrong, any of that. We just gotta clean up our consciousness, so that we'll have a good, clear conscience. And I hope we're doing that.
Sure. So
and I hope you can too. That's why we're doing this, so that we can inspire everybody. And that book, Dr. Tony Nader's.
Roger Ram.
He's
Tony
also
Nader,
known
Dr.
as
Tony
Roger
Nader.
Ram in Eastern circles and here at Maharishi University in Iowa. But we'll put that information in there. And we're trying to keep these short so you don't get bored.
So just a few people at these places. That's why Maharishi started this Brahmasthan of the United States, because just a few people there are so strong. Even in a state like of Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, just a few people at the center, even on weekends or for a couple weeks, is so strong. You could actually see the needle move in the newspaper. You could. In fact, later this summer, we're going to do an experiment where we're going someplace for an extended period, and we're going to monitor the number of positive articles versus negative articles in the local newspaper.
Bismarck.
Yeah, up in the place we're going. And we're going to see if just a person or two, or a few people that come with the intent of enjoying their essence, has enough to enhance the already positive trends so that they become dominant and they show up in the newspaper. We're actually going to try that. So imagine if 5 or 10 people could actually move Utah. 10 or 15 people could possibly...
Just on a nice 3-day weekend.
Could move, a handful of people could move Texas. And Maharishi's big on Brahmastans. He loved this. So I just think we can do the least to accomplish the most.
Well, it's not exactly the least. You got to change your whole routine. But that's okay. We're doing it.
Anything else for now?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.